Hi, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Night Lives in the Launching Life with Autism Facebook group. I recorded this live earlier today because something came up that I need to be part of tonight at the scheduled time. So I wanted to make sure that you still got your information, although it's not coming to you actually live at 7 p.m. So here we go. This group is for parents who are new to autism, who are struggling with the chaos that autism has brought to their lives. If that sounds like you and you want to get calm, you want to understand and connect with your child, then you are in the right place. And I'm your host, Erin Porter. I went through this same chaos during 28 years of teaching. I was in education in kindergarten and in spec ed, and now I'm on a mission to help parents get through the chaos too. What I learned and implemented in those 28 years has helped hundreds of parents and teachers cope with the chaos that autism has brought to their lives. So today we're discussing a new perspective on the routine for 2025. I had some parents reach out with some questions about what is the best routine for a child with autism and how do you put that in place? I love this question, and there are some great strategies that you can use. I'm going to share one with you, and I'm going to share you my twist on it as well. Firstly, I want to say that all children thrive on routine. Everyone likes to know what's coming next, what will their day look like, and what's going on throughout the day, what's all going to happen. And all children need this assurance and predictability to feel calm and secure throughout their day. The parents of children with autism who have reached out to me were referring specifically to the visual schedule. So that's what I want to talk about today. Usually, they're trying to put something in place, like the visual schedule, to help them address other things like consistency in sleep, mealtime, transitions, reducing tantrums or meltdowns, and they want to know what is the best schedule to use for a child with autism to help with those things. So I want to talk to you about this conversation, which is ongoing with a number of parents, and share with you my thoughts. Firstly, there's no one size fits all for the best schedule or routine. I used a visual schedule every day in my kindergarten classroom, and we interacted with it. It wasn't just something that was on the wall for them to reference themselves. We crossed the things off that we did. We talked about what was next. We referred to home time all the time. How much longer till you get to go home? That kind of stuff. And it provided everyone with an understanding about their day, like how it was going to go, and most importantly to all of them, when it was going to end. That's what they want to know, is when are they going to see mom and dad again? That being said, the purpose of the schedule is really important. So are you teaching and modeling a way for your child to cope? Are you trying to reduce problem behaviors? Are you managing your child's day to avoid meltdowns? These are subtle but important differences. And once again, I'm going to dissect this and provide you with a different perspective about it all. So let's begin. A daily schedule can be created for children in many ways. The most popular one is visual schedule. I'm not going to get into it now, but a while ago I did a live stream on how to choose the best visuals for a visual schedule for your child, like objects, photos, pictures, words, all that stuff. It all depends on where your child is at, and the best schedule for a child with autism is a visual schedule that can meet them where they're at with their level of reading and understanding and processing of information. So that will change as your child grows, matures, and understands what they're looking at. Please go look for that live stream if you're interested in the guide section. If you'd like help understanding which visuals would be best for your child. Now, let's dive into the reason why parents like visual schedules and my take on a better idea. Many children with or without autism have reduced anxiety when they know what's coming and how their day is going. I know I do. I have a calendar. If I don't have my calendar with the day's events and appointments, I get stressed. Or if my calendar's not working, I get stressed. And I manage my calendar. No one does it for me. Think about this for yourself in the context of directions. If you had to drive somewhere and you didn't know how to get there, you would need directions. Without directions, you'd be left guessing where to go, where to turn, how long it would take, what time to leave. It would feel a bit chaotic. This can be like life in the day of living with autism. Chaotic, right? Now, think about what are the best type of directions for you? Do you like a paper map, like my dad? Do you like a Google map? Do you like your car or phone talking to you to tell you where to turn and where to drive? Or do you like a combination of all of those things? I like checking the little blue dot on the screen that shows me where I am, and I rely heavily on the woman in my GPS to tell me what to do. This is like a visual schedule, and I've set it up to give me what I need so I'm not a mess while I'm driving and trying to figure out where I'm going. And I arrive calm. I'm not a mess when I arrive. I'm happy, I'm on time, I'm ready for what's next. I'm trying not to fight with myself in the car. I'm not angry about not knowing where to go. Why? Because I set this up for myself and I have the ability to self-regulate. I know that I can get to where I need to go. I can be calm and I can put the things in place that I need to do that. Your child is the same. If your child doesn't have that internal GPS, they might be a hot mess. They won't know what's coming, what's next, how much time they have for a certain activity, when lunchtime is, when bedtime is coming. There may be a routine, but just because you do things relatively the same each day doesn't mean they're understanding or anticipating what's coming next. Does that make sense? And what happens when things change, something doesn't go their way, how does everyone have to adapt to change their plans? How does this work for your child when things change? So the best visual schedule is one that informs your child about their day. It's effective, they can engage with it, and with practice, it can reduce problem behavior. The thing is, it doesn't give your child what they need to self-regulate. It's a strategy that you put in place. This is where I'm going to provide you with a different perspective. If you are the one putting the schedule in place to manage your child's behavior, then you may be keeping things at bay, like problem behaviors, but your child isn't learning how to do that on their own. This is where parents with autism can get stuck. They manage their child's behavior with strategies that support the child. And it's all out of love and concern and a deep sense of parental obligation to help their child cope. The thing is, there's a disconnect. Let me explain. Most parents I talk to have children with autism who struggle with transitions or change, or something not going their way. So as long as everything goes the way the child anticipates, things go relatively smoothly. The schedule is really something that helps parents help the child to avoid a meltdown or tantrum. Many parents tell me that it's great so long as everything is great. So it's great until it isn't. Does that make sense? Don't get me wrong, these strategies can be very helpful to help you cope with your day. Everyone likes to know what's happening next. But here's the thing, the visual schedule is not the solution to the problem. The visual schedule is a strategy to use to help reduce problem behavior throughout the day. The actual problem here is that your child needs you to put a strategy in place because they cannot manage themselves. They cannot self-regulate. And a schedule is another thing that you need to do to manage your child. And managing your child is great until something comes up that you can't or don't anticipate, and there's nothing that will help. There's no schedule or picture or words or reasoning that will help. And then there may be a meltdown or a tantrum, but when all of that is past and things are calm, you go back to the strategies and hope they work for a little bit longer than they did the last time, so you can put off the next episode of problem behavior. Does that sound familiar? This is the conversation that I'm having with these parents who have reached out. Many children find the visual schedule, that strategy, really motivating, and it can be a great help with transitions. One of the parents that I was messaging was asking about meltdowns and tantrums that happen when their son's tablet is taken away. So if you were working on something you enjoyed and someone came along and took it away, you would probably be upset too. But if you knew you had a certain amount of time with it, and things were in place and something was really reinforcing coming up to replace tablet time, and all of this was communicated to you with a visual schedule, it's likely that the problem behavior would be reduced. You could also use the power of pause strategy that I have talked about. You can find that in the guide section as well. But what I'm trying to get across here is, do you see that all of that support is managed by you? You put everything in place to manage your child through that transition. So what if you're not there? Or the schedule isn't there? Or you can't find the right picture? Or what if tablet time can't happen at all? Do you have a visual and a strategy to help your child cope with things that come up that you can't anticipate? That's where the self-regulation comes in. So if you're asking about supporting your child with sleeping, eating, problem behaviors, toileting, always going to say that it's about addressing self-regulation. That's built into what's happening away from the difficult times. What are you doing when they aren't trying to go to bed or go to sleep or eat dinner or have a meltdown? Those are the times that we need to look at so that difficult times can be shifted. Does that make sense? So this is not about what to do when your child has a meltdown. That's a separate live stream. This is about what you as a parent are doing when there isn't a meltdown or problem behavior. What are you doing that reduces the chance that that's going to happen? What are you doing when they aren't trying to go to sleep or eat or that increases the chance that they can self-regulate when something comes up? Now, don't get me wrong. As a kindergarten teacher with 30 kids in my classroom, I loved visuals. And I used visuals and a visual schedule every day. And the visual schedule was about me managing 30 kids. And they worked because I talked them through the day, I showed them the visuals, I anticipated what they needed, all good things and good modeling, which kids need. The question here is, where do you as the parent step away from all that managing? I didn't have to step away because it was built into my job. They left at the end of the day, and at the end of the year, they all moved on to somebody else. And I had a new class of 30. But your child doesn't get to step away from you. So where do you build in the teaching and learning about self-regulation so they don't need a visual schedule for the rest of their lives? Where does your child learn to pivot, be calm, and sort out change and regulate their emotions? Or the visual schedule is a strategy that can help you cope, can help your child, and I love them. What I want to leave you with here is this thought. If you're using the visual schedule, what's your end game? What's the purpose? Is it just so you can cope from day to day? Or do you want your child to self-regulate and cope on their own? Do you want your child to know deep down that they can sort things out themselves? They can manage change and deal with things that come up that don't go their way. Putting a schedule up can help you cope with that, but giving your child the gift of self-regulation is really the game changer because it's all about your child coping on their own without you. Many parents of children with autism that I talk to think that it's not attainable for their child to self-regulate, and they will have to manage their child's behavior and day forever. And sadly, many of the parents that I talk to are worried about what will happen to their child when they die. If this sounds like you, then we need to talk because your child can self-regulate. They just have to be given the space to do it. So use your visuals and schedules and keep in mind that they can be great supports to help you help your child through their day. And if you want more than that, if you want your child to learn to cope and manage their emotions throughout the day, then we need to talk. You can type "let's talk" below and I'll just message you privately. If you want to look at those videos about visual schedules and other strategies, go to the guide section. They're all there. while you're putting those together, really think about your end game and how you can use the visual schedule to not only support your child through the day, but how can you support them to support themselves? Have a great week, everyone. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.